The day is finally here. It is December 3rd and the bird detection AF software from Olympus is out, and we can update our EM1X to get the latest software. So in this video I'm going to show you how to get the software online, how to get it onto a camera and update the firmware. Then we're going to make a preset of the settings for bird photography using the bird detection AF and save it as a preset, and then we'll head outside and just try it out for a little bit. I don't have much time to try it out today, but I'll give kind of a first initial thoughts and reaction of it and just see how good it actually performs in the field. First off, you want to have fully charged batteries, and you need your cable that came with this, a USB-C, which looks like this. I'll put a link below where you can find the Olympus workspace. And so I'm just going to open that up here. I'm on a Mac, shouldn't be much difference if you're on a PC or anything like that. It should be the same thing. So I'm just going to register later. So once you open that up top you can go to camera and update, and that will open the Olympus digital camera updater. So now it's time to take out your SD cards, is what Olympus recommends. So make sure they're out. On the other side, we can plug in the USB-C to the camera and the USB into the computer. Let's put it on, and you get the little menu up here. You go down to storage and press OK. So make sure the camera is also like this, doesn't have a lens attached. And once you press OK, you get up this little pop-up box from Olympus. We go to next. And here it comes up, body EM1X, current version 1.2, newer version 2, and we'll just go update, and then we just say yes to all the stuff that we never bothered to read anyways. When the camera updates, it deletes all your presets, but apparently it saves them, so after it's finished we can load them back on again. It's a fairly easy process. Okay, so we got the OK symbol on the camera, so now we turn the camera off and on again. Now on your computer screen you should now have this box that's been there the whole time through the update, where it says check the two boxes below. Olympus digital camera updater will load the latest settings my sets to your camera. So tick that it says OK. And we tick that the camera has been turned off and back on again, and we go next. And now it should put back on the settings that you had on your camera originally. After it's finished updating, for some reason it just takes you back and wants to update again. So just ignore that, turn it off, turn your camera off, and you're good to go. Now when you put it back on now, it will have been reset, so you have to put in your date and time again, your language and all that kind of stuff. So let's just set up our camera for bird photography now using the new bird detection AF. So first of all, I'm going to save all this as one of my presets. So first thing you want to do is set up all your other settings that you use for bird photography first. So get your camera into whether that's shutter speed priority, aperture priority, or full manual. Put your dial into that. Then get all your other settings the way you set them to normally photograph birds. And then we'll head into the menu, go down to the autofocus panel, which is the cog. Then we go down to A3. From A3 you see tracking subject. We go in there, and now if you updated your camera you should now see that we got birds. Birds will be detected and tracked. So OK to that. And then we can go out into the super control panel, continuous autofocus plus tracking. Now I have mine plus manual focus as well. You can set that up inside the menu system. It just means that I can always use my manual focus and don't have to use the clutch or anything like that. I find that quite handy, but you may not. And after that we just want to make sure that we're using all of the autofocus points, the whole grid in your autofocus. So it's like 121 or something like that. And then finally we'll save that as a preset. I'm going to save it as preset C1 as it's quite close to full manual where I usually shoot, so it's like just 2 turns of the dial. So to save it as a preset, we go back into menu, we go up to the camera 1, the first box on the menu, and we go into reset/custom modes, down to assign to custom mode, and then we just set it as C1 set, and we're done. So now we can just turn that into C1 wherever we want to use the bird detection AF and photograph birds. Now I'm just going to finish up my coffee and then we'll head outside and we'll try this out. Getting cold. It's a frosty and cold day out. Incredible to try it out though, and it's just fun to see it just kind of chasing over and finding that eye. And it doesn't always get it right away. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. The bird moves about, it might lose it a little bit, but it is a game changer for definite. A few of the things that has really impressed me to begin with is that in those times when it's kind of hard to get focus, so I'm just walking around now, and I had a robin land just about where the horizon is. I got a clear blank or white sky behind it, some mountains far off in the distance. And very often focus can get fooled then. It's a bit tricky to get focus and it just kind of starts chasing back and forth. But since I had the bird detection on, I focused on the bird within a second, and because I was really close, got a really nice sharp image of a robin. Same thing over here. I had them jumping about a tree and the bird detection tracks it, finds it really quickly. I've had, the small issues I see is that, if it jumps behind branches and stuff, it doesn't always keep focus on the eye, but that's a minor thing. Sometimes when you're first focusing on a bird, I notice that it just gets the birds in focus first, and then it takes a little while sometimes to find the eye. But once it does, those images are super sharp. I also had a red kite flying over me, and basically all I had to do was get my exposure right and just the focus would take care of itself. And I just had a quick look through it, but it looks like most of those images came out with a sharp eye, which is absolutely incredible. I also had a flock of geese flying further, that was far away, so it was just too far away, so you can't really tell if they're in focus or not, but they were small in the frame and you could see that the tracking would just pick them up and would jump back and forth. So a couple of things I need to look up, which I haven't learned yet. I was just so excited to go out and try this, is if there's loads of birds in a group, it picks focus on some of them, or maybe it jumps between. So I need to figure out how I choose between, if I can jump from one bird to the other, if I want to swap focus. But I'm super impressed with this so far. I'm going to continue a little bit more and continue walking. There's a flock of corvids over here in the field with cows, so I might go over there, try and photograph them for a little bit. Okay, so now I'd like to test it for birds in flight a little bit more. I got a field of cows behind me and there's a lot of crows in it, a lot of jackdaws, a few rooks, things like that. They tend to feed in the farm field here with the cows, and hopefully if I hang around there for a little bit, they'll get a little bit more comfortable and they'll stop flying around a bit, and maybe I can try it out for some birds in flight as well. Absolutely incredible. So I've tried it out now. All of a sudden they take the flight and I just instantly get my camera and I'm able to catch focus on them and get sharp flight images of the crows, something that is really tricky to do, especially with a messy, brighter background back there. It doesn't always catch right away, but the thing is just to keep pushing the focus until it catches. Sometimes you can just keep holding it and all of a sudden you see the tracker just finding it and then it got it. It turns green when it has it, or it thinks it has it. But it is incredible how fast it would actually get it and then allow me to get several frames sharp as it was flying by. Not perfect, but unbelievably good and unbelievably accurate. But it does have a little bit, tendencies to kind of not always get it. But it is a complete game changer, and it is much more successful than what I could achieve, especially for quick ones like this for birds in flight. But definitely do use it as a preset, because the tracking thing, if you've used it before, it can get in the way if you don't want it, and if it can't get it accurate, you want to be able to quickly switch it off. So either having some sort of a quick a quick setting that you can just switch it off, or just like I've set it up on the preset like I went through earlier, quickly change back to continuous focus. Loving this, incredibly fun to try out, and I'll also be coming out with a new video after I've tried this out for a little bit more. This is just, I've just had it for a couple of hours now, and it is super exciting. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comments and I'll reply to them. Download it, enjoy, I'll catch you in the next video.